Hi guys, welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to go through the intro to Tender by Blur. So my first Blur song here. This is my favourite Blur song, which is one reason I'm doing it. What we got here is just this real first bit. We've got a very simple like arpeggio A, and then we've got the three main parts of the most recognisable part of the song. I'm just going to go through that today. That's all it's going to be, okay? And I intend to do a verse bit and a chorus bit later on. As with a lot of Graham Coxon songs, there's loads, every part is different, you know, he's very rarely playing the same thing. And if you listen to live versions, they're not completely different, but they will be different. So there's a really cool live version of them playing at Glastonbury, 10 years ago or so, maybe more now. Anyway, and you can hear the little nuanced differences between this version, which I've based on the actual album version. But hopefully it will give you guys the album version sounding good like that, and then you can play around with it from there just as Graham Coxon would do, okay? So that's the plan. No structure to really talk about because it's basically, as I say, this arpeggio in A and then the three main parts of the main riff. So the next thing you'll hear is me play through the whole of the intro, and then I'll go through the bits relatively quickly. For me, very quickly, but for normal people, quite slowly. So I call it relatively quickly. Let's crack on. It's a bit of a weird angle, but hopefully you can get some semblance of being able to see both hands here. Obviously, as usual, as with all my videos, I'm just going to talk through stuff as well, because that's how I like to do it. The way I often learn videos on YouTube is I just get them on, get some tab paper in front of me, and then I just listen to the person talk through it, write it out, and then I play it through myself. They're different things, different horses for different courses. You know what I mean? Anyway, starts with an A major chord, which we're going to strum. Okay, there's my A major, strumming that all the way down. Then I'm going to play the B string. Then I'm going to go G string, D string, G string, D string. You see, up, down is my preferred picking there. Then the B string again. So we got this. Okay, then G and D again, and then B again. Then I'm going to go G, D, G, D, and I think there's just another G in there at the end, but it's quite hard to hear. You could miss out that final G and it would be absolutely fine. Like that, and with the G. Okay? And that first bit is, you could almost play anything kind of thing. It's just an A chord and you're just playing through the A chord before the main riff kicks off. And the main riff kicks off like this. G string, then ring finger's going to come off here. I'm going to play the open B string, then I'm going to play the open B and hammer on. Okay, so it's open to 2 there. Open B, then it's 2nd fret G. Sounds to me like you're slightly hammering on, like really fast hammer, which hopefully you can hear in my version. Then 2nd fret D, and then open E. And that's our first kind of lick, riff, whatever, of this intro. That's more, you know, the main riff, lick, intro. Okay, there it is, that first main bit. So the second main bit, 2nd fret on the G string, another open B, hammer on that B again, open E, another hammer on the B, and then I like to play 2nd fret G here, open A. 2nd fret D, then open A would work absolutely fine, but I like the G, and I think he does the G at least on the second time anyway, but I did it on both because I like it. So it's going to be like this. This is, again, this is kind of the second part of the main riff. Okay? It's interesting, if you listen to live versions, this bit is pretty much the same, but that first bit with just the A chord is completely different. So this is the main bit, really. Okay, so the third bit of the main bit, we're going to play 2nd fret on the B, and I'm going to hammer on 2, 3, 2. Then open G to 1st fret G, open E, low E. Then I believe it's 1st fret G, 3rd fret B. Really cool riff here. So we're suggesting an E7 chord, okay? And that's our third bit of the main riff. And with just those 3 bits, you could pretty much play through this and it would sound fantastic. With no like nuances, again, if you listen to live versions, you can hear all sorts of nuances going on. But those first 3 bits, let me play those 3 through to you. This is the most important. Yeah, something like that. Not the cleanest I've ever played it, but hopefully you get the idea. Now this next bit is kind of like the turnaround section. I'm going to play 3rd fret on the B string 4 times in kind of 2 lots of 2. Like that, and then an open E, and then 2nd fret G, 2nd fret D. That 2nd fret D is quite hard to hear, but if you slow it down, it's definitely there. And again, just back to suggesting an A chord after that E7 chord. So we're kind of suggesting that E7 chord back to A, which if you didn't know is the perfect cadence 5-1. So there you go, bit of music theory for you as well. We continue on there with a repeat basically of that first of the main riff section like this. Now, right after that, there sounds to me like a 2nd fret D string. It could be incidental. Again, it's quite low in the mix. It's not really loud, and you have to kind of slow it down to hear it. So don't worry if you don't put it in there, but there is just a very slight hit of that D string 2nd fret before we then start the second part of the main riff, which is that bit again, just the same as the first time. And with that third part, the first bit's the same. We've got that 2nd fret on the B, the hammer on 2, 3, 2, the hammer on open to 1 on the G, open low E. I like to then play 2nd fret D here, which is another E note but an octave above obviously this low E. And again, I think that's what he's playing in the original album version, but I could be probably persuaded otherwise, but I think it is. 3rd fret on the on that B straight afterwards, and I'm going to do 2 more of these. So rather than going like we did the first time, we just go simple idea. Then we're going to basically just strum an A chord. In my tab, I've just tabbed it as the G and the B because it doesn't feel like a full chord. Well, it doesn't sound like a full chord, feel like a full chord. Such muso nonsense. Then an open low A, and then again just that kind of strum of those high chords. Then we're into the verse, which starts with an A chord anyway. All that kind of jazz. So that's basically the song. We've got that first part with the A. We then got the first part of the main riff. The second part. Third part. With a slight variation. There's the first time ending. The second time ending is going to be, rather than 1st fret G there, it's going to be 2nd fret D onto that 3rd fret B. And then this kind of turnaround section, or the ending section, is different both times. The first time it's... Sorry. Like that. And the second time, you then, once you've done that, you then do the first part again. Throw in that extra little D if you want, 2nd fret. Then the second version, second part. 3rd part. As I say, rather than 1st fret G, I'm going to play 2nd fret D, and then that 3rd fret on the B, and now I'm going to do just 2 3rd fret Bs, an A chord, open A chord, and then we're into the verse. So I've gone through it there nice and slowly and nice and quickly. Hopefully you could see my pick through most of that. Anyway, I'm whittling. Let's see my face. There you go, guys. Hopefully that made sense to you, and hopefully you're going to find this useful and fun to play. Got my Norwich Beer Festival glass there with my water in, so things are all going well. Don't know why I pointed that out. Why not? As usual, check out all my social media stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. That's the kind of thing you're supposed to say, isn't it? Anyway, so I'd be really appreciative if you did check that out. I try and post on all of them every day, although I wouldn't say I was the most consistent social media person. As usual, if anyone has any requests, put them down below. I'm not going to be quickly getting to stuff, but it's really nice to have different suggestions from people. This is one that was actually suggested genuinely years ago, but it's also a song that I love. It's my, as I said before, my favourite Blur song, so that's why I've done this. As I think I've already said as well, I'm intending to do versions on the verse and the chorus. I'm not sure whether they'll be straight away. Literally, I'm just going to see how I feel once I've got this all edited and up, whether I want to continue this song or do something else. But hopefully you guys will find it useful, as I've already said. I'm just repeating myself now, kind of stuck in a time loop. So I am going to say thanks for watching. If you got this far, kudos. And I'll see you guys again soon for some more cool guitar stuff. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.